Aaron Goodwin has been Zak Bagans' right-hand man on Ghost Adventures for over 15 years. He's been there for every single investigation, every paranormal encounter, every terrifying moment captured on camera. He's locked himself inside the world's most haunted prisons, asylums, hospitals, and private residences. He's been scratched, pushed, possessed, and terrorized by entities that most people refuse to believe exist. But here's what viewers don't know. There's always footage that doesn't make it to air, moments too disturbing for television, evidence too controversial to broadcast, personal conflicts too raw to show the public, and experiences so traumatic that even Aaron has stayed silent about them for over a decade until now. With a new season of Ghost Adventures scheduled to premiere soon, Aaron has started opening up about what really happens when the cameras stop rolling. He's revealing behind-the-scenes conflicts with Zak that have never been discussed publicly. He's talking about investigations that were too dangerous to fully air. He's describing encounters that left permanent psychological scars on him and the crew. He's detailing the specific incident during recent filming that almost made him quit the show entirely. And most significantly, he's warning viewers about what's coming in the new season, content that has him genuinely concerned for the first time in his career. After staying silent for over a decade, protecting the show's image and respecting non-disclosure agreements, Aaron Goodwin is finally revealing the truth about what Ghost Adventures doesn't show you. The real story behind 15 years of paranormal investigation, the personal cost nobody talks about, and why the upcoming season represents a turning point that has him questioning everything. Most viewers see Aaron and Zak as close friends, partners who've been through countless investigations together, sharing a bond forged in haunted locations across the world. The reality is significantly more complicated than what airs on television. Aaron started as a camera operator and technical guy, handling equipment while Zak led investigations. Over 15 years, he evolved into Zak's primary investigation partner, then co-lead investigator, and now holds a producer credit with creative input. But that evolution hasn't been smooth or without conflict. Aaron has revealed that creative differences frequently arise that never make it to screen. Disagreements about investigation approaches arguments about provocation tactics and serious concerns about safety protocols that get overridden in pursuit of dramatic content for television ratings and network approval. Zak's need for absolute control over every aspect of production has created tension throughout their working relationship. Aaron has admitted there were times he wanted to leave investigations because he felt genuinely unsafe, but production requirements meant he couldn't simply walk away. The cameras keep rolling regardless of fear or danger. There's also the burden of being typecast as the scared one. Viewers expect Aaron to be terrified in every episode. Production sometimes emphasizes his fear reactions because that's what generates views and social media engagement. The psychological toll of being consistently portrayed this way, of having your genuine fear turned into entertainment, of struggling to be taken seriously as an investigator rather than just the guy who screams, that's something Aaron has carried for years. But the real breaking point in their relationship came during a recent investigation that won't air until the new season premieres. What viewers see in a typical Ghost Adventures episode represents a tiny fraction of what actually happens during investigations. Aaron explains that a standard investigation involves 12 to 16 hours of continuous filming. That massive amount of footage gets condensed into 42 minutes of television content for broadcast. Hours of compelling evidence, dramatic moments, and genuine paranormal activity end up on the cutting room floor, never to be seen by the public. Some of this is simply due to time constraints and the realities of television formatting, but much of it gets cut for other reasons that Aaron is now revealing. Evidence that's deemed too good to air because it would face immediate skeptic backlash and accusations of fabrication. Crew arguments and conflicts that would break the fourth wall and shatter the illusion viewers have about the show. Equipment failures that reveal how much technology struggle happens off camera. Moments when fear becomes too real and crew members have genuine breakdowns that are too raw, too personal to broadcast as entertainment. Footage where crew safety was genuinely compromised in ways that would raise serious questions about production protocols and insurance liability. Aaron has mentioned specific examples in recent interviews. Full possessions that lasted much longer than the brief segments shown on television. Physical attacks more violent than what airs, with injuries that required medical attention but weren't deemed television appropriate. EVP recordings with content too disturbing, too threatening, too explicitly evil to broadcast under any network standards, times when investigations were genuinely halted mid-filming because situations became too dangerous to continue safely. Multiple reasons explain why certain content never reaches viewers despite being documented on camera. Network broadcast standards prohibit content that's too intense, too graphic, or too potentially traumatizing. Legal liability concerns prevent showing situations where crew safety protocols might appear inadequate or reckless, protecting crew members' privacy and dignity when they're having genuine emotional or psychological crises, avoiding copycat situations where amateur investigators might attempt to recreate dangerous scenarios without proper preparation or protection, and maintaining the show's credibility with skeptic by not airing evidence so compelling it seems impossible to believe. But Aaron insists that this upcoming new season has more footage they fought to keep in the final cuts than any previous season in Ghost Adventures history. Content that pushes boundaries further than ever before. During filming for the new season, Aaron experienced an investigation that fundamentally changed his perspective on paranormal research and his own role in Ghost Adventures. The specific location hasn't been fully disclosed yet, but Aaron has described going into this investigation with his usual confidence built from hundreds of previous experiences. They'd investigated every type of haunted location imaginable. They felt prepared for anything the paranormal could present. Standard safety protocols were in place. Full crew support was available. But from the moment they arrived, something felt profoundly wrong in ways that Aaron's instincts immediately registered. The location had an oppressive atmosphere that affected everyone. Local residents refused to discuss the property or its history. Previous paranormal investigation teams had entered and fled, some refusing to ever investigate again. Historical documentation revealed multiple violent deaths at the location spanning decades. Recent reports from current property owners described ongoing physical attacks, objects thrown with impossible force, and voices making specific threats against family members. Aaron describes being separated from the main group during the investigation, which was planned isolation designed to increase paranormal response. But what he experienced during that separation was unlike anything in 15 years of investigating. Physical contact that left visible marks on his body, voice phenomena that revealed personal information about his life that no entity should know, an overwhelming sense of malevolent presence that made him question whether he would survive the night. Then came the specific moment that genuinely broke him, an incident Aaron can't fully describe yet because it will air as the climax of this season's most intense episode. He called for crew help using his radio and received no response. He felt genuinely trapped in that location with something that wanted to harm him. He believed, for the first time in his career, that he might not make it out safely. The eventual rescue by crew members and the immediate aftermath of that experience left Aaron shaken in ways that previous investigations never had. This matters for the new season because this episode will definitely air. Viewers will see Aaron's genuine terror captured in real time. The footage is more intense, more raw, more authentically frightening than anything Ghost Adventures has broadcast in 15 seasons. And Aaron admits publicly that he seriously considered quitting the show entirely after this investigation. Only conversations with crew, family, and spiritual advisors convinced him to continue. But he's making it clear, what viewers will see this season represents a threshold that's never been crossed before. The personal cost of 15 years investigating the paranormal is something Aaron rarely discussed publicly until recently. His life outside Ghost Adventures has been profoundly affected in ways viewers never see. Maintaining normal relationships becomes nearly impossible when you're regularly encountering genuine evil and trauma. Friends and family outside the paranormal investigation world don't understand the psychological toll of what he experiences. They can't comprehend why certain locations or experiences stay with you permanently. The challenge of switching off paranormal awareness after investigations, of returning to normal life when you've just spent hours confronting entities that want to harm you, that transition never gets easier. Aaron lives with constant awareness now, seeing signs and sensing presences in everyday locations that most people never notice. It changes how you move through the world. Sleep problems and mental health issues have plagued Aaron for years. Nightmares following specific investigations, sleep paralysis experiences where he feels held down by unseen forces, anxiety about what might have followed him home from haunted locations. He's sought therapy and developed coping mechanisms, but the cumulative psychological impact of sustained exposure to traumatic paranormal encounters doesn't simply disappear with treatment. Then came the personal crisis that nearly destroyed him. In 2021, Aaron's wife was arrested for allegedly plotting to hire someone to kill him. The stress of his career, the time away from home for investigations, the psychological changes he'd undergone, all contributed to the breakdown of his marriage in ways he's still processing. The Ghost Adventures crew crew supported him through this nightmare, but it made Aaron seriously reconsider whether continuing the show was worth the ongoing personal destruction it was causing. Beyond psychological trauma, there's the issue of spiritual attachments and phenomena following investigators home from location. Aaron has experienced paranormal activity in his own house that he directly attributes to things attaching to him during investigation. Family members have been affected by presences that Aaron believes followed him home. He's required multiple spiritual cleansings of his property and person over the years. Living with the knowledge that investigating the paranormal can mark you, can create connections with entities that don't respect the boundaries between investigation sites and your personal life, that's a burden Aaron carries constantly. Yet, despite everything, the personal costs and trauma and ongoing risks, Aaron continues with Ghost Adventures. He continues because he genuinely believes in documenting paranormal phenomena and feels responsibility to viewers seeking answers about the nature of existence and what happens after death. Not every location Ghost Adventures investigates becomes a regular episode. Some locations are permanently blacklisted, places the crew has collectively agreed never to return to, regardless of viewer interest or network pressure. These aren't decisions made lightly. They represent investigations where something went so wrong, where the danger became so real, where the consequences were so severe that returning would be unconscionably reckless. Aaron has started naming specific places that are forbidden. The private residence where a crew member experienced full demonic possession, requiring hospitalization and exorcism, a case that nearly ended the show. An abandoned hospital where catastrophic equipment failure in the middle of an investigation risked lives when they lost all lighting and communication simultaneously in a structurally unsafe building. A prison facility where something followed them out, manifesting in crew members' homes for months afterward. A private home where young children were still living, and the ethical concerns about potentially escalating activity that would affect innocent kids made further investigation impossible. An overseas location where local authorities actually intervened during filming and ordered them to leave immediately for reasons that were never fully explained. What happened at these locations ranges from physical attacks that left lasting injuries to equipment destroyed by unseen forces in ways that seemed deliberately malicious, to psychological breaks among crew members that required medical and psychiatric intervention. These blacklisted locations serve as constant reminders that paranormal investigation isn't entertainment despite how it's packaged for viewers. The new season, however, represents a return to pushing boundaries that had been established through hard experience. They're investigating location types they deliberately avoided, and Aaron has serious concerns about this direction. After 15 years and hundreds of investigations, Aaron's perspective on paranormal evidence has evolved in ways that complicate his role on Ghost Adventures. He started as a believer in ghosts and spirits, but maintained healthy skepticism about individual pieces of evidence. Over time, accumulated experiences convinced him beyond doubt that something paranormal exists and can be documented. But now he's entered a third phase, questioning not whether the paranormal is real, but what they're actually communicating with during investigations. Are they really making contact with deceased human spirits, or could some entities be non-human, demonic, or something else entirely? Do their investigation methods actually help spirits move on, or do they simply provoke entities and make situations worse for everyone involved? Are they opening doorways and creating connections that shouldn't exist, with consequences they can't predict or control? Certain categories of evidence have convinced Aaron completely. Physical phenomena that can't be faked, objects moving with no one near them, doors slamming when everyone is accounted for on camera, intelligent responses to specific questions, answers that demonstrate awareness of what was asked and provide relevant information revealed through EVPs or other communication that investigators couldn't have known through any normal means. Physical effects like scratches appearing on skin in real time while being filmed. Full-bodied apparitions captured on multiple cameras simultaneously from different angles. This evidence is real and documented, Aaron insists. But what troubles him now are questions about the nature of what they're documenting. He's investigated cases where provocation seemed to make paranormal activity worse, rather than simply documenting what was already there. Homeowners have reported that activity increased after Ghost Adventures investigated, sometimes dramatically and dangerously. Crew members, including Aaron himself, have suffered long-term effects from specific investigations that suggest something attached to them or marked them. Some evidence suggests intelligent deception by entities, deliberately manipulating investigators and providing false information. These concerns have led Aaron to push for different approaches in the new season. More emphasis on helping spirits and families rather than simply provoking for dramatic content. Consultation with religious experts and spiritual practitioners before investigating locations with demonic or negative histories. Enhanced protection protocols including prayer, blessing, and spiritual shielding for all participants. But there's tension between what Aaron believes is responsible investigation and what the network wants. They want the provocation, the confrontation, the aggressive challenging of entities. That's what generates the views and ratings. Aaron's caught between his evolving understanding of the dangers and delivering content that satisfies expectations. The upcoming new season represents the most extreme content Ghost Adventures has ever produced, according to Aaron's warnings. They've investigated more dangerous locations than previous seasons, prioritizing intensity over safety considerations. There's renewed focus on demonic investigation, deliberately seeking out locations with histories of possession, satanic activity, and malevolent entities. International locations with completely different spiritual traditions and paranormal rules that the crew doesn't fully understand. Private residences where families are currently living and experiencing ongoing physical attacks, raising ethical questions about whether their investigation might make situations worse. Aaron has mentioned specific investigations that concern him. A location where multiple people have died under mysterious circumstances over the past decade, with no natural explanation for the pattern of deaths. A property with extensively documented possession cases, where previous exorcisms failed and families continue suffering. A historical site with dark, violent history involving ritual murder and torture. A private home where family members are being physically attacked nightly, with children showing signs of spiritual oppression. An international location where local spiritual traditions warn that Western investigation methods could trigger catastrophic consequences. Aaron is concerned because he feels they're taking unnecessary risks in pursuit of content. The crew is showing signs of cumulative trauma after years of sustained exposure to paranormal investigation. Some locations genuinely should not be investigated by anyone, regardless of potential evidence. Network pressure is overriding safety concerns and experienced investigators' instincts. There's a pattern of escalation that worries him, each season having to be more extreme than the last to satisfy audience expectations. What will be different about this new season? More raw, less edited footage showing longer sequences of investigation without cuts. Extended investigation sequences that capture the full emotional and psychological progression of encounters rather than just dramatic highlights. Greater focus on crew members' personal reactions and struggles, showing the human cost of paranormal investigation. Enhanced equipment providing multiple angles and different spectrum documentation of every significant event. More emphasis on evidence analysis, bringing in experts to examine what was captured. But Aaron is also warning viewers that some episodes will be genuinely disturbing in ways previous seasons haven't been. This isn't entertainment suitable for everyone. Content may seriously affect sensitive viewers or those dealing with their own spiritual struggles. The episodes challenge fundamental belief systems about life, death, and what exists beyond our normal perception of reality. What viewers don't see is the full production crew that makes Ghost Adventures possible. It's not just Zak, Aaron, Billy, and Jay investigating alone. A typical investigation involves 15 to 20 people. Camera operators capturing multiple angles simultaneously. Audio technicians managing recording equipment and monitoring for EVPs in real time. Producers coordinating logistics and ensuring everything gets documented. Safety personnel monitoring for structural hazards and emergency situations. Medical support standing by for injuries or health emergencies. Security personnel controlling access and protecting equipment. These crew members experience the same paranormal phenomena as the on-camera personalities. They're in the same haunted locations, exposed to the same entities, facing the same dangers, but their reactions and experiences don't air. They receive no recognition for their bravery or acknowledgement of their trauma from the viewing public. Aaron has shared specific stories about behind-the-scenes crew experiences. The camera operator who quit immediately after the possession incident, unable to continue after witnessing what happened to a colleague. The audio technician who captured an EVP so threatening, so specifically personal, that it terrified him into requesting reassignment away from the show. A producer who witnessed a full-bodied apparition and struggled with the reality-shattering implications of what she'd seen. Security personnel who had to physically intervene during an investigation when a crew member was being attacked by unseen forces. Medical support being called for genuine emergencies. Not minor injuries, but serious health crises triggered by paranormal encounters. The toll on crew relationships is significant. They bond through shared trauma in ways that outsiders can't understand, but crew members have left due to psychological strain becoming unsustainable. The new season brings crew changes that Aaron finds concerning, with new members lacking experience. After 15 years of staying relatively silent about the darker aspects of Ghost Adventures, Aaron Goodwin is finally speaking out publicly. His reasons for breaking that silence now are urgent. The new season content is more intense than anything previously aired, and Aaron feels viewers need to understand the reality behind what they're about to watch. He wants to set the record straight about conflicts and concerns that have existed behind the scenes for years. He's worried about amateur paranormal investigators who watch Ghost Adventures and attempt to replicate what they see without understanding the real dangers involved. What Aaron wants viewers to know: Ghost Adventures is real investigation, not scripted drama or manufactured scares. The danger is genuine and documented. Crew members suffer real, lasting consequences from investigations. The evidence they capture is legitimately unexplained, but entertainment value should not override basic safety responsibilities. Aaron's current relationship with Ghost Adventures is complicated. He remains committed to documenting paranormal phenomena and seeking answers about consciousness, death, and what lies beyond, but he's actively advocating for more responsible investigation approaches, pushing back against network pressure for constant escalation. He's establishing his own boundaries about what he will and won't participate in, even if that creates production conflicts. And he's genuinely uncertain about his long-term future with the show. His message about the paranormal is direct. It is real and genuinely dangerous. Amateur investigators risk serious harm. Some locations should be left alone. Protection and preparation are essential. Consequences can be permanent. The new season will challenge even longtime believers. Some episodes made him question continuing, but he's committed to seeing it through. When it airs, viewers will understand why he's speaking out now. After 15 years, he's telling the truth about what that journey has cost him and why this season may represent his final investigations with Ghost Adventures.